you film the movie, and then you sell it on DVD to people.
A chalet with a normal bed, some warm water. That's my style.
Hey everybody! So welcome to Teacher Talk Time, Real Teachers, Real Talk. I'm here today with my co-host, Claire Satchwell. How you doing, Claire?
Are you ready? Hello, Mr. CH. How are you doing today?
Doing great, thanks. It's good to see you again.
Awesome. Lovely to see you too.
Thank you. Claire, can you tell us a little bit about who we have as our guest today?
Well, firstly, we have Miss Mari Halajyan from Armenia. All right, so she's joining us from there. She focuses on preparing her students for IELTS and works with many HR specialists. Okay, and then we have Mrs. Amanda Cannon, originally from Brazil. However, she is loving her life in the USA, and she's going to talk to us about how she works on the various socials and how she's building her business from there on. Alrighty.
Hello.
Hello, ladies. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Lovely to meet you both.
Thank you for having us. Absolutely. It's a pleasure.
Excellent. So today we're going to talk about a couple of things. We're going to talk about, where'd that go? We're going to talk about teaching young children with Amanda. We're going to talk about teaching business English and IELTS with Mary, social media presence, and managing a busy work schedule, as Claire mentioned. So let's jump right into it. Let's start with Amanda. How are you today, Amanda?
Great. I'm doing great. How about you?
Doing awesome, thanks. So, Amanda, can you tell me what inspired you to teach small children? Where did you get that inspiration?
I started in Brazil,
Mm-hmm.
but I think my passion really started when I had my kids. So I taught them Portuguese. They were born here in the United States, and I started to teach them when my son was 5 and when my daughter was 2. So since then, I have been just talking to them in Portuguese and how efficient that was. And from there, I was like, you know what? I can do this. And I can do that as a profession because I love teaching kids. I always did. And teaching another language is definitely a challenge, especially for kids. But I can see, I know them a little bit more, so I can be a little bit like them and having some fun. It's not all about homework or classwork.
Yeah.
So it's challenging because I need to get that passion from the parents as well. But just having that kid and just having a teaching, especially from the kids that they need that environment being fun, and express their feelings. I like that.
Yeah, absolutely. Fun really helps bridge the gap between the lesson and the kids. But I think, well, do you feel like it can also bridge the gap with the parents as well? Because everybody likes to have fun. I don't think anyone's against it.
That is true. Yeah. I think that's why I didn't limit myself just for kids. So I'm teaching the parents as well how to teach their kids, because you know, like sometimes when it's just once a week, it's not enough. And I'm always guiding them to, you know, to continue practicing at home, which is great. And always in a fun way. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. There's all kinds of things that help us learn languages, and I think your approach is fantastic.
Thank you.
In a way, you're killing two birds with one stone. So you're teaching the kids and you're teaching the adults, and they're both so excited about learning this new language that they feed off each other's energy. That is very clever.
Yes, yes. It's very important you only speak your language, you know, with your kids, like especially when I'm teaching Brazilians, the family,
Hmm.
you know, that language, Portuguese, because and a lot of times people will be critical, like, oh, why are you speaking to your kids in front of us, because we don't know what you're talking. And I'm like, look, you're just having a free
Hmm.
class right here. You should be appreciative of this.
Yeah, and there's context.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah. So
absolutely.
it's fun. It's definitely very cool to do it.
Absolutely. What about
I'd like to
doing?
find out, sorry, Robert. I'd like to find out, what is the difference between teaching small children and adults? So, you know, obviously they're coming from the same household, but where do you find the difference there? And how do you overcome that? It may be a challenge, it may not be.
Deep, I would say deep is the same, but there's so many details that we can change, because with adults we can go straight to it. And if it's something that I want to fix and I want to talk about it, I may be able to really talk about it in a very long time. But timing for kids, it's a very challenging one. So for kids, I need to do a lot of segments in about 30 minutes. So I need to change that. And also, they like routine. Adults don't like as much. They do, well, some kids like, some adults like routine, and it's fine. But they do, most of adults, they like surprises. So it's like, oh, you give me something different. Okay, that's fine. But kids, even though it can be something different, but it needs to be okay. So start with this, starts with, you know, crossword, and then starts with this learning, and then grammar, and then we finish with some fun games. They are expecting this, and I noticed that works very well for most of kids.
And what type of routine do the kids like? What do you keep the same every lesson? What types of things?
Well, they love doing like hunting, like, you know, like those treasure hunts too. So I always see what the kid likes most. So I always push to the end. So they are excited for that. And also there's a difference when I'm teaching online and I'm teaching in person too. So when I'm teaching online, I always, you know, like try to make them to write something or to draw something, or, you know, something about their feelings. And then we move to the fun part, the fun for them, right? And for me too.
So they wait for it the whole lesson.
Yes.
They know what to say, like you said.
Excellent. Very good. That's absolutely right. So I guess we could say that we are speaking in plain English.
Yes. Yes.
Excellent.
Okay.
Excellent.
I'd love to find out from you and, take us through how you prepare your students for IELTS, and more to the point of why you chose that part of, we've got general English, but why did you go into that niche market as well as HR specialists?
Okay, thank you for the question. It's a good question. Actually, I'm teaching both general English, IELTS, business English, so different things. IELTS, why IELTS? Because most of the people who want to grow professionally, doesn't matter whether they're specialized in English or not. So if even they're engineers or doctors or someone else. So they want to continue their education. They want to grow professionally. And for that, they need to pass IELTS. For example, here, for gaining master's degree for this course, for taking this course, you need to take the exam. IELTS, at least general IELTS, okay? So, and there are some people who want also, there are also some people who want to travel abroad for continuing, again, their education, right? Or they want just to change their job and, for example, to go to Canada. And for that, for a job or just to move and live there, for that, they need, again, IELTS. So I guess that IELTS is one of those, there is also IBT and IELTS, they're, I can say, equally important. So most of the people need it. They want it or not, they have to take it. So this is some exam that everyone needs who want to grow professionally, or they want to change their place of living, and they want to change their jobs. So that is why, maybe. So this is one of the things that I like teaching. And the other question was about
HR specialists. So why did you choose to work with HR specialists in particular?
So the thing is that, so there are some HR specialists that work with people from different countries who speak English, and in order to be able to interview those people and to choose the right person, the right candidate for the company, they need to know how to do it. They know how to do it because they're specialists in HR. I'm not teaching them HR, definitely. I'm teaching them how to do it in English. What kind of vocabulary to use, what is the right vocabulary to use, what methodology to use, they know already, but what phrases to use, how to structure their sentences correctly, how to make well-connected speech, and how to make, there are also people who are asking, okay, how can I write the ad in English for this position? So they have to know what right vocabulary to use here in order to look professional, or what kind of questions to ask in English to the candidate. So what is right to ask, what is not right to ask, okay? Again, it's about the being professional in English, not in their profession. They are already professionals. I'm helping them with the vocabulary and also fluency and a good construction of the speech.
The fluency when it comes to interviewing them to see if they're right for the job. And now with telecommuting around the world, you can hire people from anywhere. And
sure thing.
I know that they have sometimes, I have a background in recruitment, and they have remote recruiting offices in different parts of the world. I recall that there was a company that was recruiting in South Africa, but they had a French office that did all the recruiting for the South African manufacturing plant, which was insane. Marie, I'd like to find out, do you have a background in HR?
Frankly speaking, no. I have a background in cultural communication management and tourism. So, and I have also a background of an English language teacher. I mean, I studied for 5 years at a university, and I studied to become an English teacher. My second language is French. I mean, the second language that I learned.
Mhm.
Okay, that's fascinating. Brilliant. I love
Yeah.
that, especially from where I come from. So that's very valuable. Thanks, Marie.
Thank you.
Great. So, Robert, are you going to take us into our next segment?
Yeah. So, social media presence, being a social teacher. Amanda, can you tell us, are there some media platforms that are better for meeting potential students than others?
In my case, I will say it's Instagram, because I see more Brazilians there
Mhm.
than in Facebook. But I can see more older
Mhm.
people on Facebook. So, and which I want to reach both. So I concentrate on Instagram because I think it's not only there's a lot of people there, but it's growing too. Everyone that wants to make something and be known, or share something, they always think first on Instagram. It's easier, I think, in a way that you can do a lot of stuff in that platform. I would prefer Instagram.
Absolutely. With Instagram, you just scroll and you double tap on the screen if you like something, and then you move on.
Yes, yes.
Absolutely. So, what are some limitations that you have to deal with on social media?
Well, I don't share as much as my personal life. I like to keep it, even though I do feel like I have to. People do like to see some of it. I love to show people how my kids are doing so well in
Mhm.
Portuguese, because that's my how I sell things too, because it's like, look, I did my kids.
They're the
So
product of the product.
yes. So, but not as much, like I would say maybe some stories. I focus doing the videos being more professional. So, and that helps me to limit that. And I use YouTube. I have a YouTube channel as well. So that gives me more opportunity to show how I am, and like showing how my personal life is here in United States. That Brazilians love to see that as well.
Absolutely. It's the lady behind the lessons.
Yes, yes.
Excellent.
That's what I wanted to ask you, Amanda, is I've noticed how with ESL professionals, when they're growing their business, they are really focusing on YouTube these days. So do you intend to focus on YouTube, or are you going to verge, take it the IG way or Facebook, and why would you decide which
Uh,
way you'd like to go?
yes, I noticed that I I noticed that when I post something on YouTube as well as my Instagram, they can see I have more viewers. So I think people can see both sides, and they like that way.
Mhm.
And I did too. I like the YouTube channel. So I just came back, and I really want to focus on posting something on my YouTube channel at least once a week.
And
Excellent.
do you intend on maybe increasing your posts, the frequency of your posts in time?
And And increasing for what? I'm sorry.
The frequency of your posting. So
Yeah.
are you planning on perhaps starting to post every second day, etc.?
Yes, absolutely. I want that. And I've been first when I thought about posting on Instagram like every day, I would be like, I don't have time to post every day. That is insane. Maybe once a month. And it's a lot to think. It's a lot of context to think. It's a lot of planning. Also, you're already giving classes, so you're already having a lot of planning. So to post something is you have to plan ahead, and especially that like the videos that I've been doing on Instagram, it's like a teaching videos, very short, but I have to think and plan ahead. But now it has been so natural that it's like, oh, I post 3 times today. Am I going crazy? It's like, but I've been enjoying, and I see that the people have been enjoying as well.
That's awesome. Well said, Amanda.
Thank you.
Welcome. Excellent. That was a very good explanation given by Amanda. I actually really appreciate that insight. A lot to think about. Next, we're going to go into work balance with our friend Mary. How's it going, Mary?
Everything's fine. Thank you.
Excellent. I'm glad to hear it. So, Mary, you work a ton of hours a week. I think you said 130?
Nearly 130. It's possible that I have 140 or even more. Sometimes, yes. It's too much.
Yeah. How do you deal with burnout?
So the thing is that before I wasn't feeling that I was getting tired, but when I have already been doing it for more than 1 year, I felt that step by step after the work, I was feeling really exhausted. And I needed some solution here because I wanted to work at the same time. I didn't want to deal with burnout. So I found a solution. I decided to do one thing to compensate, because you are sitting long hours, let's say 8 or 9 hours, to compensate all this situation. I need to move. How to move? Yeah, I like jogging a lot. So I started from jogging. After the working day, I feel exhausted. I don't want to do anything, but then I go out, start jogging. I go recently already for 1 month. I visit sports complex, and where I go to the gym to group trainings like Pilates, yoga, stretching, swimming in the pool. And all of this helps me. And when I come back, I feel like I'm revived, full of energy and things like this. First thing you have to do is to move. But the problem is that you are short of time and you have to do very good planning of your day. The second thing that I do is to take a nap during the daytime. I know already where I have a gap. I am between the lessons, maybe I have some break, for example, an hour, and I go to bed for 30 minutes or 40 minutes and I have a nap. Yeah, this is really very helpful. Nap and try to move as much as you can.
Yeah, absolutely.
Those naps in between really help.
Right, it helps to regain your energy and feel like revived.
Absolutely.
For sure. The nap is where it's at. Excellent. So, very well said, Mary. Thank you for that.
Thank you.
In the dungeon! Turn around in the dungeon!
Excellent. So now we're going to go into our troll of the week. I do have kind of a hurtful troll that I'd found. And I'm not too fond of this one, but I'd like to hear what you guys think. Oh, let me see if I can. There we go. So someone actually had the nerve to say this about someone else's place in the world, except the place you'd be almost, or place you'd almost certainly teaching at. They didn't. Their grammar's all messed up. Would be more like a polluted, sweltering city. Where do people get off talking about someone's home like that? I don't know. Claire, what do you think?
When I first read this, Robert, I think that this is somebody who's probably scoping Facebook, as it appears, looking for a job. And they've been doing this for weeks or months, and they're very frustrated. So they see somebody who's perhaps successful or has a successful business or wonderful job, and they're taking out their frustrations on this person. That's so nasty. Wow.
Yeah, they're kind of venting on someone's home, and I'm just like, no, that's not even necessary.
Incredible. Marie, what do you think?
Yeah, actually, I agree with you. So I think that people watching this video would think that, okay, so it's exciting to hear about the other people's experience and the tips that they are sharing with us, and they can learn from them. But not criticize or not say nasty things like this. So they can try to learn instead of criticizing or saying bad things about it.
Yeah.
You know what I realized backstage before the show, when you said that it's so awesome to have this show so that we can all collaborate together and share ideas and tips. Yes, we may see each other as competition on certain days, but at the same time, we all have the same mission. We all out there to do the same thing. So why put each other down when we really need encouragement every day?
Yeah, you shouldn't kind of say, okay, this person is successful, and I'm not going to deal with him, and I'm going to do everything in order to spoil everything he has created and to correctly or destroy the building that he has built. So it's not the way to treat. So I mean, we are all colleagues, and we can. So, for example, I'm specialized in one sphere, the other person is in another, but we live in different countries and we work with different people from different nationalities, and perhaps we can learn from each other because there is also the cultural difference, and there is a cultural shock kind of. So if you are teaching an Armenian kid and if you are teaching a Chinese kid, so these are two different things, okay? So because there is the culture that is different, and how you teach is also different. So if you want, let's say, to teach Chinese people, but you live in Armenia and you have only the experience of teaching Armenians, so you're not going to succeed unless you hear some tips from those ones who have already the experience of teaching Chinese. And also the other nationalities, we need to learn from each other. And this is always exciting, for example, from Amanda to hear, okay, so how she works with students from Brazil, because, okay, so I have never been to Brazil and I would like to know how it works, they are quite different from Armenians. Okay, so I would like to know what's different. Okay, so it's always exciting to know, I mean, to find out something new. And we always have to learn from each other, not to just criticize or say something bad.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That's a very good perspective, Mary. I don't know about anybody else. I don't really see anyone as competition because it's a big world out there. What do you think, Amanda?
I agree. I think we have so much to improve as well. We have so much, to go with. So I have few friends that they teach Portuguese to families
Mhm.
not too far from me. And we are constantly talking with each other because we have so many families to teach. We have so many more. We are not like, oh, you got this family, I get that one. No, we're not like that. And
Mhm.
we understand everybody is the same. Every families are the same. So you may think that you can get all of them, but maybe it's just a lot of times with teaching, it's chemicals. So, like it's like, oh, I don't like the way that you teach, so I'm gonna go to another one, and it's fine. It's a relationship. So
Mhm.
you have to get that both sides. So our world, like Mary was saying, it's so big. So I don't think it doesn't have space for jealousy or competition. I think it's it's really bad when you go that path.
Excellent. Very well said, Amanda. That was awesome. I couldn't have said it better myself. Excellent. Well, it's been a pleasure. Claire, do you have any closing thoughts?
No, I don't, Robert. I would just like to thank you for being here with me today and our guests. And yes, I'd love to see you next week, to see our viewers next week. And perhaps next week we can incorporate some questions from Facebook and YouTube and answer them. I think that'll be rather exciting, shake things up a bit,
I think that's a great idea. We'd love to hear from our viewers questions that they have, questions from anywhere.
Absolutely. Well, thank you, Robert. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day. My day is almost over. I know that yours has just begun in Florida. So enjoy it, and I'll see you next week.
See
First,
you.
before we go, I would like to thank our sponsors. Always appreciate that. And thank you to everybody for watching our show. Alrighty. Cheers, guys. Bye, Robert. See you soon.
Bye.